Dina, Dina, Karumare Hatmasata, Shakti Bodhina, Dina, Karumare Hatmasata, Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diha, Karuhe Dasi, Janapeksa Hatihina, Yogyata Vichare, Kichunahi Pai, Tomarat Karuna Sara, Yogyata Vichare, Kichunahi Pai, Tomarat Karuna Sara, Karana Haile, Kadia Kadia, Rananara Gibo Ara, Karana Haile, Kadia Kadia, Rananara Gibo Ara, Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diha, Karuhe Dasi, Janapeksa Hatihina, Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diha, Karuhe Dasi, Janapeksa Hatihina. Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Hi.
Dandava Pranams, the first kirtan on the move, an improvisation from Srimati Manini Radha Dasi. Beautiful kirtan, Didi. I think we'll need to work on the audio technicals a little, and the and the wind rushing by. But it's a beautiful effort.
Sorry about that.
Vanchakalpa Trubhischa, Kripa Sindhuevacha, Pratitanam Bhavanabhyo, Vaishnavabhyo Namanamaha, Om Gyan Tinamandasya, Gyanjana Salakaya, Chakshur Militam Yena, Tashmai Shri Guru Namaha, Trinadapi Sunichana, Taronapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtni Sadahari, Tatenu Kampam Susamikshamano, Bunjanevatma Kritam Vipakam, Hit Vakvapudividam Namaste, Jivata Yomukti Sadayabak, Vachavagam, Manashakoravigam, Jivavigam, Rurapastabigam, Etam Vigam Yovisheheta Dira, Savamapi Mam Pratvim Sasasyat, Anya Balasata Sanyam, Yan Kamriana Vritam, Manukalenya Krishnu Shilam, Bhakti Uttama, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadata Shivasadi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Dandavat pranams. Welcome to the 53rd edition of this beautiful program in honor of our beautiful Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, and also in honor of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Vaman Maharaj. I pay my humble obeisances to my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, and to Srila Prabhupada, to the entire parampara, to Srila Rupa, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami and Rupa Goswami, to Lord Nityananda, to Lord Gauranga, to Shri Radha and Krishna. And I pay my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees and all those of you who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and who will be watching it in the future recordings. So today is our 53rd edition out of 64. So as I like to do each week, tell you where we are on the 24-hour clock, and on the clock of the day of Brahma, we are the equivalent of 7:53 p.m. when we finish this edition. Or if you like measuring time by the day of Brahma, we're in the 12th of 14 Manus, the 42nd Chatur Yuga, and we're in the Satya Yuga and 1.4 million years into that age. So we are not far off the finishing line of 64. Just to remind you, next week, we'll be back at the original time of midday, and then we'll be taking a break for Kartik because we'll be having Zoom programs for Kartik 10 till half midday UK time and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. So every time zone you're in, you'll be able to get Kartik live with beautiful speakers speaking on each day of the parigram. So we won't be having for Kartik, which is October the 20th to November the 19th. We will not be having Gurudeva Memories or Mercy Grace Leela or Holistic Bhakti. We'll be taking a break for all those programs so we can concentrate on Kartik. And that's the Kartik of Gurudev's 100th year appearance. So it's a very important and beautiful Kartik. So today we have 4 speakers. We're going to go to Mexico to Sriman Divakar Dasa to begin with, and then we'll be staying in Mexico for a mother and son who are sharing their time, Srimati Malika Dasi and her son Sriman Amal Krsna Das, both in Mexico. I think Prabhu initially will be speaking in English, but mother and son will be translated by Srimati Navalatika Dasi, very kindly translating, and then we'll be zipping over to Australia. Srimati Manini Radha Dasi, who was just doing Kirtan, will be taking over the emceeing, and we'll be hearing the Pushpanjali from Srimati Madan Mohini Didi from Australia. So let's crack on with the program, and I give a very warm welcome to Sriman Divakar Das from Mexico. Please feel very welcome, relaxed. It's like a family gathering, not a formal gathering. And please offer your Pushpanjali to our divine Gurudev. Hari Bol, Prabhu, welcome. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Hari Bol, Dandavat.
Good. Pranams to all devotees meeting here. I'm very happy to stay here and sharing some words to verify for Srila Gurudev. Mancha kalpa taruyascha kripasindhuvayavata patitanam pavantyo vaishnavyo namo Bhajasti Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Syapaita Gatagara Sri Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Okay, I'm gonna talk some pastimes about.
Your video has gone off?
Mom, can you hear me? Can you?
Yeah, Prabhu, we can hear you, but we can't see you. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
No, your video's gone off again.
Sorry. First of all, I offer to my Dandavat pranams to my Gurudev, Srimat Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and pray to his mercy. I had the opportunity to take darshan from him.
Sorry, Prabhu, your video is gone again, Prabhu.
So I had the opportunity to take darshan the first time in the festival in Venice, Italy, in 2009. And so in that time, I was entering the place. One car was moving on to and very close to me, and then from the car, Sripat Bhaktivedanta Maharaj and Srila over there. They stopped the car. Then the people who was around there, they approached to him.
Sorry, your video is gone again, Prabhu.
So I was in front of Srila Gurudev in that moment.
Prabhu, your video is gone, Prabhu. Excuse me, your video.
Because I was nervous. I didn't know what to say or what to do. So finally, I decided to approach Srila Gurudev and take his lotus feet. And when I was when I was watching the face of Srila Gurudev was in his hands like this, and he was very smiling. So that was the first darshan that I had with Srila Gurudev. In the same festival, in other occasions, I remember that at the end of every Harikatha with Srila Gurudev, I was taking the opportunity to take the lotus feet from Srila Gurudev every day to receive his blessings, and like this, I was very happy to take him to lotus feet and receive blessings. But one day it was not possible to me take lotus feet, because in that festival it was around 1,000 people, 1,000 devotees there. So sometimes it was very difficult to approach Srila Gurudev. So in that day, I could not take this lotus feet, and I was very disappointed. Only thinking, oh, today is not. I could not take this lotus feet, so I was sad. But when I was thinking like that, I was watching the back from Srila Gurudev, and in that moment, Gurudev he turned on to me and put his hand like this and giving me blessings. I didn't. I was only thinking like this. So I couldn't take his blessings today. But Gurudev, he was hearing me in my heart, in my mind, and then he came on to me and gave me blessings. Also, I remember another occasion.
Sorry, Prabhu, can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes. Okay, I will try to speak for those. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Another time, in the same year,
louder, please, Prabhu. Louder. Exaggerate.
Okay. In the same year, in 2009, but this time was Gurudeva was in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, I remember it was in September 2009. So he came to Jagannath Puri in the Sea Palace to take rest. In that moment, there was only around 30 devotees there. So in one time, Srila Gurudev called to me by Sripat Damodar Maharaj, and then he was asking me some questions. He told me, "Oh, what you wanna do? What you gonna do now? What you will now? You will marry or you will stay brahmachari?"
Ooh, it needs to be double the volume, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
okay?
need to really speak up. We want to hear you, Prabhu.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay. So in that moment, Gurudev was asking to me about the temple in Mexico, because very recently I was living in the Mexico temple around two years, living, trying to do some service and trying to living like simple life like brahmachari. But in that moment, Gurudev knows that the temple from Mexico was closing. So Gurudev was asking to me, "Oh, Divakar, why the temple is closing now?" Then I was thinking very seriously inside of me to give a good answer to Srila Gurudev, but Gurudev looked into me, my heart, and he knows. And he told me, "Oh, the temple is closing because it's not enough supporting." So I say yes. Gurudev, he understood very clear my heart, even without saying any word. He could understand very clear my heart. And even in that moment, before Gurudev called to me, I was thinking, I don't know if Krishna can see me. I don't know if Krishna can hear me because he's very busy doing pastimes with Srimati and his friends. So I don't know if Krishna can hear me. I don't know if Gurudev can hear me. Because I don't know, they are very close. So maybe I was thinking maybe Mahavishnu can hear me, but Krishna really not, because it's very busy. But in that moment, Gurudev called me and was asking to me like this, and also Gurudev was asking to me some personal questions. I really I have much uh, okay, feeling like that. I'm gonna tell this little conversation. But Gurudev also asked me because in Italy festival, he in one morning walk, Gurudev told me, one devotee said, "Oh, he's Divakar, he's from Mexico, he's living in the temple, like Brahmachari." And inside of me, I was thinking, "Oh, I have to use trying to be brahmachari, but it's very difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I don't know if I can do much time. I don't know. So Gurudev is in that moment he was in front of me, and he saw me with his beautiful blue eyes and very with very anger, and he told me, "Oh, yeah, yes, you try to be brahmachari. You try to be understand. You even when you want to know. You have to be like brahmachari. You understand? You would try." He told me like this. Even I didn't say any word, but Gurudev knows what have inside my heart. So in his so little months after that in Puri, he asked to me some questions. He told me, oh, now what are you thinking? What are you thinking now? You will be brahmachari or you will marry? So I told sincerely, Gurudev, I don't know. I don't know. So Gurudev told me, you want to be a tree in the next life? You want to be I'm sorry, I really don't speak English. I'm trying to remember the word, but I,
¿Cuál es la palabra, Prabhu?
asno, no sé recuerdo asno.
Donkey.
Donkey, yes, y pasto, ¿cómo dice pasto? Grass, ¿verdad? Okay, sorry. So Gurudev told me, what you want to be in the next life? You want to be a tree, or you want to be donkey, or maybe grass? Well, what do you want to be in the next life? So he told me like that. So I was only, I could not say anything. So some friend, he told to Gurudev, oh, no, and then Gurudev told me, what happened about your grandfather? And some friend told to Gurudev, oh, he's died. He died. He lived the war. So Gurudev turned to this devotee and told him, oh, I know, but it was not. If I thinking the theory, the things, in that moment, nobody knows about my grandfather did the war. Nobody knows. Only my friend, my partner, but I never told anything to Gurudev, but Gurudev knows that my grandfather did the war. And then Gurudev asked me, where is he now? And then told me Gurudev, what about your father? Your father is married still now? And I was thinking, like, yes, I think yes, because my father was married before go to India, but I didn't know that in that moment. My father was separating and getting divorced. So, but Gurudev knows. Gurudev knows. He watched it to me. He told me. So I wanted to say this little pastime with Sila Gurudev, only to sharing with you, and I can realize that Gurudev is omniscient. That Gurudev knows everything. Gurudev knows the heart from his disciples, and Gurudev is always with us. even if one thinking not, but Gurudev knows all about you, even better than yourself. So I want to stop here because I know that other devotees want to qualify Sila Gurudev. So thank you for this great opportunity. Vancha kalpa terovyascha kripa sindhu vyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for speaking louder. It's not so easy sometimes on Zoom with all the technology. So I really appreciate you raising your voice so we could hear you. We wanted to relish every word. And I can say very much, there was a kind of a common theme through everything you said, which was that Gurudev demonstrated how much he knows us, past, present, and future, and our Swarup. So whether you're in a crowd, as you said, of 1,000 devotees, where you don't think you're going to get any personal darshan from Gurudev and he reaches out to you, or whether it's intimate knowledge he has about your father or grandfather, whether it's on the mundane level or on the spiritual level, Gurudev has those eyes. And I certainly always felt it when he looked at you. You could feel that. You could feel that he was able to see so much into your heart, which is so beautiful, because actually what do we want? We want to be recognized, but most of the time we're running around trying to be recognized for this false identity of our false ego. But when we meet a personality that's actually recognizing our true eternal identity, it's a totally stunning and blissful experience. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Prabhu. And I hope you'll be able to stay for your fellow Mexican Pushpanjalis and an Australian one as well. Actually, I'd be very interested to know, Navalatika, perhaps you can tell us, we're moving around in Mexico now. Where are we moving from and to? Or are we in, I don't know the cities of where everybody is.
The next speaker, Malika Didi, is now in Toluca. Toluca, that's 1 hour from the city, from Mexico City.
Was
and
Prabhu in Mexico City?
Yeah, Mexico City.
And her son is also in the same place?
In Mexico City, yeah.
Oh, so we'll then go back to Mexico City.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'll introduce the next two speakers. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you, Sriman Divakar Das. We're going to move over to a mother and son who are sharing a Pushpanjali here. Srimati Malika Dasi. She took Harinam from Srila Gurudev in 2008. And then much later, this year actually, took many congratulations, took Diksha from Bon Maharaj, Shripad Bon Maharaj, which is very beautiful. You're very fortunate to have such a combination of gurus. And then I think we'll move seamlessly to her son, Sriman Amal Krsna Das, who took Harinam and Diksha from Srila Gurudev in 2008. So I'm going to hand over to our dear Srimati Navalatika Didi. I'm very grateful to you, Didi, because you've arranged 3 people for this program. Very sweet of you. And you're going to be doing the translating now. So I'll hand over to you.
Okay,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Didi, ¿puede prender su micrófono? Prabhu, can you open? Okay, yeah.
¿Listo?
Sí, listo. Puede empezar, Didi.
Gracias, Didi. Haribol. Ofrezco mis más humildes reverencias a mi maestro espiritual. Sorry.
Está bien, Didi. Solo me va a dar tiempito para que le haga la traducción.
Sí, claro. A mi maestro espiritual, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. A todos los Vaishnavas y Vaishnavis presentes, acepten mis más humildes reverencias. Espero, Didi, no cometer alguna ofensa.
Now she is offering her Dandavat pranams to our Srila Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here. And I hope not to commit any offense in this, what I want to speak.
Realmente no tengo mucho que decir de mi maestro espiritual, porque nada más lo vi una vez cuando recibí Harinam de él el 8 de julio del 2010.
So I don't have too much to say because I just saw Gurudev one time, and there was, and it was when I took Harinam through Skype, 2008 July.
Tengo muy presente en mi mente la imagen de él en una pantalla. En aquel entonces se usaba el Skype. Cuando me dio Harinam.
But I have his image so present in my memory through this screen, because at that time we saw Gurudev to this platform, Skype platform.
Recuerdo perfectamente a su imagen sentado y recuerdo perfectamente su voz, aún la tengo aquí en el oído, que nos dijo a todos, "Are you ready?" Y yo no sabía qué contestar, estaba yo muy nerviosa, al igual que ahorita me solté en llanto.
So, yeah, sorry. Didi, siga.
Y fue cuando nos dijo que repitiéramos el santo nombre.
So I just, also I can remember so well his voice, and I was so nervous like I am now. And when he asked everybody there that, "Are you ready?" So she was like, she doesn't know how to answer that. And she started to cry like I'm doing now, she's saying. But then after that, he asked everybody, "Okay, you repeat now the Maha Mantra after me," he said, Gurudev said.
De hecho, esa es la única vivencia que tengo yo de mi maestro espiritual. Pero cada que escucho una vivencia de algún hermano espiritual que vivió con Gurudev, es para mí como si yo hubiese estado en el momento de esas vivencias, y para mí es algo verdaderamente hermoso.
Actually, that is the only experience that I have with Gurudev. But every time that I'm listening, I'm hearing the other devotees' experience with him, it's like I am there, I am with them, you know, experience that through them.
Didi, creo que es lo único que puedo decir y espero no haber cometido ofensa.
Now she's telling that this is the only thing that I can speak about Gurudev, and I hope not to commit any offense.
Y con esto me doy por terminada mi participación en este Zoom.
But she's very happy to be part of this program, to be part of this program Zoom. So she's very honored to be here.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Navalatika.
Prabhu, yes.
Ask Didi whether she would like to glorify her Diksha Guru at all, because if she glorifies Bon Maharaj, she's glorifying Srila Gurudev anyhow. So maybe she would like to also glorify her Diksha Guru.
Entonces, Didi, también si usted quiere decir algunas palabras de glorificación a su Diksha Guru, Bana Maharaj, porque si está glorificando también a Bana Maharaj, está glorificando a Srila Gurudev, entonces Prabhu pregunta si usted puede dar unas palabras de cómo glorificar, cómo ha sido su Diksha para usted cuando ha recibido de Bana Maharaj.
Oh. no sé expresarlo, Didi, perdón, no sé expresarlo. Me siento muy
Anna,
feliz. Me siento muy feliz.
she's actually very emotional now because she's saying that she cannot express really what she felt at that time when she was taking Diksha. But she's very happy since then.
I tell her I can feel the spiritual emotion.
Prabhu dice que sí puede sentir esa emoción espiritual que tiene Didi.
Navaratka, were you on the program when I think it was Anjali? I can't remember. It was a Spanish-speaking woman. I don't know. She was maybe 65, and she kept on saying, "It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing." Time and time again, and she didn't say very many words, but there was so much feeling. It was very beautiful. I feel the same way listening to Didi.
Yeah. Entonces, I can translate for her. Había una otra devota también. I think that she was from Bolivia too. That
Bolivia,
she was,
yes.
Yeah, she was speaking and she was also crying for Gurudev.
Yeah.
Entonces había otra devota también, que es Lila Maduri de Bolivia, y ella también cuando habla de Gurudev rompe en llanto, ¿no? Entonces, I think that this is Srila Gurudev's special mercy when they feel completely in their heart.
Yes, yes, and although Didi said only a small amount, it was very important because what she was pointing out was just how powerful that Shabda Brahman is, the Hardini Shakti coming from the lotus lips of Guru, even through Skype, is so powerful it can change our lives.
Y aunque Didi, usted ha dicho algo muy corto, se siente como este es el poder que tiene Srila Gurudev, este Shabda Brahma, esta energía de Hladini, de esta bienaventuranza, que incluso a través de este Skype, usted ha podido sentir eso de Srila Gurudev.
Gracias.
And I wanted to honor your Diksha Guru because he's actually he's the fruit of the tree of my Guru.
Y también quiero glorificar a su Diksha Guru Didi porque él es el fruto del árbol de mi Gurudev, de Srila Gurudev.
He is a very sweet mango.
Él es un mango muy dulce de ese árbol.
And I always felt so close to him when I met him first in 1996.
Y siempre me siento muy cercano a él, lo conocí en 1996, a Van Maharaj.
We would laugh together.
Solíamos reír juntos.
Because I'm like really tall, 6 foot, I don't know, 193 meters.
Porque en realidad soy alguien muy grande, muy alto, mido como 1.80.
And he's like in totally different body.
Y él está en un cuerpo totalmente diferente, es más pequeño, Van Maharaj.
So he would look at me and chuckle.
Y entonces era así esa diferencia que había entre ambos.
We would find each other very interesting.
Y así nos encontrábamos el uno al otro bastante interesantes.
And one thing I notice all the time, all these years about Bon Maharaj, is that he follows Gurudev order exactly. He doesn't add, he doesn't take away. He follows precisely, very, very, the sign of the best Guru is the best disciple. Like my Guru was amazing disciple of my Param Guru, and your Guru is an amazing disciple of my Guru. 100% dedicated.
Entonces, yo he visto a lo largo de estos años cómo Shripad Van Maharaj ha seguido perfectamente las instrucciones que le ha dado Srila Gurudev y cómo es que él no ha añadido nada, tampoco ha quitado nada, y él en realidad es así un gran discípulo de mi Srila Gurudev, así como mi Srila Gurudev fue el gran discípulo de Param Gurudev.
And you can see this because the fruit of your Guru is self-evidently ripe and sweet. People who spend time with your Guru, they are engaged, they are happy, they are chanting, they are serving.
Y esto se puede ver porque él es, Van Maharaj es ese fruto dulce de mi Srila Gurudev. Y se puede ver esto a través de toda la gente que lo está siguiendo, cómo esta gente se siente feliz y cómo ha ocupado a ellos también en servir y en cantar los santos nombres.
The sweetness in his mango heart is spreading to every other heart.
Esa dulzura de que tiene el mango, que su corazón de Van Maharaj la está difundiendo, compartiendo con todos los demás.
So thank you so much, Didi. Appreciate your Pushpanjali. Haribol.
Entonces, muchísimas gracias, Didi. Aprecio mucho ese Puspanjali, esa glorificación que usted ha hecho.
So take us back to Mexico City in Navaratka.
Sí. Entonces, Amal Prabhu, now Amal Prabhu, her son, will be speaking.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Dandavad Pranam. Yashananda Nadas Prabhu. Nice to meet you, Prabhu. Nandovat.
Haribol.
All devotees, Dandavad. I offer my humble Dandavad Pranams to my Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my humble Dandavad Pranams to all Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas in this meeting. I am Amal Krishnadas. I'm Harinam devotee to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. You can hear me, all devotees?
Yeah, really well, really well.
Perfect. Sorry for my English. My English is very bad, and I try to speak, and I can't speak in Spanish. It's more easy for me.
Whatever you prefer, Prabhu. Navalatka will translate.
Yes, it's more easy for me.
Yeah, please. No problem.
Okay.
Any beautiful language, we like to listen to it. No problem.
Okay, yeah. Yo conocí a Srila Gurudev desde muy joven y siempre escuché sobre él, ¿no? Mi tía me hablaba de él y nos enseñaba, ¿no? El canto del santo nombre. Y sí,
me va a dar tiempo para la traducción, Prabhu. Gracias. So I met, I heard a lot about Srila Gurudev since I was so young because my auntie used to speak to us about him, and also she taught us the Hare Krishna Mahamantra too.
Yeah. Entonces, fue en el 2010 cuando tuvimos la fortuna de tomar Harinam de Srila Gurudev en vía Zoom. Tuve Sudarshan, tuve la oportunidad de tener Sudarshan esa vez.
So it was a great fortune for us. We could take Harinam and have his darshan in 2010 also through Skype. Skype, creo que no había Zoom.
Sí, Skype. Fue en el 2010 cuando también Srila Gurudev abandonó este mundo, ¿no? Cuando no estuvo frente a nosotros físicamente más.
It also was 2010 when Srila Gurudev departed from this world and he was not present like in front of our eyes anymore.
Entonces recuerdo cuando Srila Gurudev dejó el mundo, como toda la sangha estaba muy desubicada, estaban todos en un humor muy triste.
And I remember when Srila Gurudev departed from this world, all our sangha was so sad, was confused, everybody was crying.
Entonces, yo también estaba un poco confundido, ¿no? Veía a todos muy tristes y recuerdo muy bien, tuve un sueño.
And also I was feeling very sad at that time, and I had a dream at that time.
En ese sueño, es un sueño que tengo muy guardado en mi corazón, porque estaba en un bosque. Era un bosque y estaba de día, estaba el sol, se sentía un día caliente. Y yo iba caminando por ese bosque. Y entonces, girando mi vista del lado derecho, en un árbol muy grande, muy frondoso, así, estaba Srila Gurudev sentado.
So that dream I keep very deep in my heart, and I want to tell about this dream. I was walking through one forest, and it was a very sunny day, and it was warm, and it was very a hot day. And then I look at one really big tree, and under this tree was Srila Gurudev, was sitting there under this tree.
Entonces yo vi a Srila Gurudev, ¿no? En mi sueño, y me tiré al piso, le hice Dandavad, le hice reverencias a mi Gurudev, y Gurudev me dijo, no te preocupes.
And when I saw Gurudev sitting under this tree, then quickly I went and I offered my Dandavat pranams, and he looked at me and said, don't worry.
Después yo desperté, ¿no? Del sueño. Desperté y dije, wow, ¿no? Se siente el Shakti de Srila Gurudev.
And then after that, I woke up, and then I felt this powerful, this Shakti of Srila Gurudev.
Después, mucho tiempo después, muchos años después.
And then after many years after that,
en un Ratayatra que se hizo aquí en México, yo escuché, ¿no? Me llegó la noticia del Ratayatra y no lo pensé y fui. Y le dije a mi familia, a mi mamá, a mis hermanos, le dije, voy a ir, quien quiere ir, vamos, vamos. Y entonces fuimos todos al Ratayatra. Entonces, en ese Ratayatra, ya después cuando llegamos al lugar que teníamos que llegar, mi sueño se personificó, ¿no? Mi sueño.
So, yeah, after many years of that dream, it happened that the Ratayatra here in Mexico, and I was willing to go, and I was inviting all my family, my mom, my other brothers and sisters, and I said, let's go to this Ratayatra. And I went, and suddenly when I was there in the Ratayatra, my dream come true.
Entonces en el Ratayatra, ya aquí en México, iba yo caminando en el bosque donde llegamos. Era un día soleado, y entonces igual que mi sueño, de la misma forma que mi sueño, el mismo ángulo que giré, el mismo árbol que estaba allí, pero a los pies del árbol estaba sentado Srila Bhaktivedanta Bongo Swami Maharaj.
And also, I was walking in this Ratayatra, and we were going through one forest also here. And in the same way that in my dream, it was also one sunny day, and it was warm day. And then when I turned to my right, also the same angle and the same feeling that I had in my dream, then I suddenly saw Sripad Bhaktivedanta Ban Maharaj.
Entonces, no sé, uno entiende, quién sabe, se le revela en el corazón, y yo entendí que Gurudev lo sabe todo, Gurudev lo ve todo. Y entonces él sabía mi corazón, ¿no? Y me dijo, no te preocupes, ¿no? Estate con mis devotos, estate con mis discípulos, y así pasó, ¿no? Así conocí a Bhaktivedanta Bongo Swami Maharaj, y así, bueno, me refugié en sus pies de loto, y todas las enseñanzas que tengo de Srila Gurudev, ¿no? Toda la revelación que he tenido de Srila Gurudev a través de sus libros, ¿no? Y de su kata que he escuchado en YouTube y en todos lados, así.
So, and then I realized that Srila Gurudev knows everything, and also that he knows my heart. So when he told me in that dream, don't worry, so I felt that Srila Gurudev was telling me again when I saw this Ban Maharaj that don't worry, that means that please be with my devotees, be with my disciples. And after that, then I took shelter of Bhaktivedanta Ban Maharaj. And then after, when I took shelter from him, then all the katas and the books and all that what I was listening from YouTube, Srila Gurudev's katas, then it felt so real to me.
Entonces, tengo un kata muy grabado de Srila Gurudev, de Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Swami Maharaj, que él nos dijo, bueno, dijo en la clase que cuando nosotros leamos un libro, no lo estoy leyendo yo, el Vaishnava me está hablando a mí, me está hablando a través de su libro.
So I remember in one special kata that Srila Gurudev gave, and he was saying that when you are reading the books, actually you are not reading the books. It's like the Vaishnava is speaking to you.
Entonces, de esta manera es como cuando leo los libros de Srila Gurudev, siento, no sé, muy cerca a Srila Gurudev. Puedo imaginar y sentir el kata tan dulce que tenía, ¿no? Y tan lleno de conocimiento, y que con solo leerlo e imaginar o sentir que Gurudev lo está dando, se guarda solito en el corazón.
So yeah, I feel this, that when I listen Srila Gurudev's kata, I feel Srila Gurudev's so close to me, this very sweet Harikatha that he used to give, and also all the knowledge that he used to give is like, I can, I'm feeling that I'm really with him that in this kata, and I feel also that this kata is so deep in my heart, that he's putting this kata so deep in my heart.
Yes, and that's all, devotees. Thank you for listening. My experience is very, how do you say, small? And Dandavats, Hare Krishna, your devotees. Thank you for your association, and please receive my Dandavats. Navalita Didi, Dandavats. Thank you for all, and that's all. Thank you.
Dandavats, Prabhu. You sure you don't want to speak anymore? You're a lovely speaker. I feel that you was just getting going.
Thank you, bro.
It was like you drove the car onto the motorway, and you were accelerating down the motorway, and then you just stopped.
Yes, I feel this.
You have something else to share? I think you have something else to share.
Dice Prabhu que usted estaba tan entusiasta con todo este Harikatha que es como si hubiese empezado a manejar el auto y de repente lo paró. Entonces parece ser que usted quiere como decir más y gustaría decir algo más también. Es bienvenido.
Pues no sé, yo podría hablar de Gurudev mucho tiempo, ¿no? Y de los Vaishnavas y escuchar de ellos. Y yo la máxima experiencia que tengo de Srila Gurudev es a través de sus libros y de su kata, ¿no? Ese humor, ese sentimiento. También tengo un ¿cómo se le dice? Un pasatiempo muy grabado en mi corazón de un libro que leí de Srila Gurudev.
So yeah, he's telling, I could speak a lot of Srila Gurudev, and because I feel Gurudev so much when I read in the books, and actually would like to share one pastime that I read also that is very deeply stamped in my heart, one pastime that's coming from one book that Srila Gurudev wrote.
Yes, this book, to my Srila Gurudev, is la esencia de todas las instrucciones.
Is the nectar of all instructions, the essence of the essence of the all instructions in that book.
Yeah. Y en este pasatiempo, no sé, fue muy bello. Estaba yo en New Branch cuando lo estuve leyendo y era Gurudev hablando de este pasatiempo cuando Sri Krishna estaba en Vrindavan jugando con los pastorcitos y entonces escucharon que venían las gopis. Ahí vienen, y dice Krishna, vamos a cobrarles un impuesto para que no pasen por aquí.
Okay. And so this past time I was reading in New Braj when I was there, and it's about when Krishna is in Vrindavan and he's playing with all his friends, the cowherd boys, and the gopis were approaching to them, and Krishna said, okay, let's charge them a fee.
Entonces, cuando se acercaron a las gopis, Krishna se paró enfrente, ¿no? Así parado.
So
y les dijo,
when the gopis were coming next to Krishna, then he stand up very like that position, and Krishna said, okay, let's charge this fee.
Y les dijo, ustedes no pueden pasar por aquí, tienen que pagar impuestos, ¿no? Porque esta es mi tierra de Brindavan.
And yeah, he stopped them and he said, you cannot pass this, you cannot pass from here because this is my land, said Krishna to them.
Y entonces Radharani, Srimati Radharani le dijo, ¿tú? ¿Quién eres tú? Y dice Krishna, ¿no saben quién soy? Soy Krishna.
And then Srimati Radharani started to speak to him, and she said, who are you? And then Krishna said, oh, you don't know me? I'm Krishna.
Y entonces Srimati Radharani dice, tú eres Krishna. Tú eres aquel que de niño mató a una mujer, ¿no? A una mujer casada. Wow, muy honorable.
And then Srimati Radhika was telling to him, oh, you are that Krishna, that little boy who killed a married woman? Oh, that's very honorable from you.
Y Krishna así baja los hombros, ¿no? Y dice, sí, soy yo. Y dice Srimati Radharani, tú eres ese Krishna, ¿no? Que mató a un toro y animales. Qué valiente.
And then Krishna was replying to her, yes, I am that Krishna. And then Srimati Radhika said, oh, also you are that Krishna who killed a bull and many other animals. Oh, yeah, so brave. So Krishna, you are so brave.
Y la Srimati Radharani le dice, esta tierra no es tuya. Esta tierra la cuida Mishaki y Brinda Devi. Por eso se llama Brindavan, no Krishnavan.
And Srimati Radhika told him, oh, this is actually not your land because this land is taking care of one of my Saki, that's Brinda Devi. And actually that's why it's called Brindavan. It's not Krishnavan, sorry.
And all gopis said, yeah, Radhe, Radhe. She continue walk. Chanting Radhe, 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 yes, Radhe. Cuando leí este pasatiempo, no sé, sentí muy bonito en mi corazón, ¿no? Y como uno escuchar a Gurudev leyendo sus libros, siente toda esta verdad muy, muy cerca.
So, yeah, and then the gopis were saying, yes, Radhe, 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 and then they passed these kind of taxes. And he's saying, Prabhu is saying that when I read this pastime, I felt so much in my heart that this is true also, Srila Gurudev, when he was telling this pastime, you can feel that you are there, and this truth is actually so stamped in your heart, so you can feel actually this pastime.
Yeah, and that's all, Prabhu. Didi, thank you.
Beautiful, Prabhu. Prabhu, thank you so much. I felt, translate this for me in Navalatika, in the same way, actually, that you were a common thread of your presentation, your Pushpanjali, is how Gurudev stamped something in your heart. I felt a lot of transmission from your heart to us.
Entonces, Prabhu, yo siento eso de la misma forma, en realidad, de cómo tú has ofrecido tu glorificación de esta presentación, y es como Srila Gurudev siempre deja huella en el corazón, y esas huellas que él ha dejado en tu corazón, los estás transmitiendo ahora a nosotros.
When you took us through your dream, we were there in your dream.
Cuando nos llevaste ahí en tu sueño, esa experiencia de tu sueño, nosotros hemos sentido que también hemos ido a ese tu sueño.
And actually that was very generous of you to share with us your dream.
Y de hecho eso ha sido algo muy generoso que tú hayas compartido con nosotros ese tu sueño.
And trusting.
Y de mucha confianza.
You mentioned also a very, very important point, which I wanted to make explicit. You were saying that when you read the books of Gurudev, it's like he's speaking to you and it's going deeply into your heart.
Y quiero resaltar un punto muy importante que tú has dicho, y es que cuando lees los libros de Srila Gurudev, él estampa eso en tu corazón.
I was taught by Srimati Shamrani Didi, who was taught by Srila Gurudev, the point that when you read any literature of Vaishnava, it's very wonderful if you really honor the Vaishnava who wrote it, and actually you go in your mind and sit at his lotus feet and hear from his lotus lips in your mind when you're reading the book.
Y entonces, de hecho, es también que esto me dijo Shamarani Didi y también Srila Gurudev le dijo a Shamarani Didi que cuando uno está leyendo esta literatura de los Vaishnavas y nosotros ofrecemos con mucho honor el empezar a leer, y de hecho en nuestra mente vamos y nos ponemos a sus pies de loto y meditamos que estamos siendo a sus pies de loto y estamos escuchando el Harikatha también de sus labios de loto.
This way, like it says in the Bhagavatam, this way the saffron dust particles can travel literally from the lips of the lotus mouth of the pure devotee into the ears of the disciple.
Y de hecho esto está confirmado así en el Bhagavatam, que cuando nosotros vamos y escuchamos del devoto puro este Harikatha, esto que sale de los labios del devoto puro, inmediatamente entra al corazón del discípulo.
And of course, you're absolutely right when you were telling the pastime of the taxis in Braj and the gopis and the story of the gopis. You're right. The reason why you feel like you're there is because Gurudev is there. He's not telling a story in a book. He's telling us what's going on in his heart, what he's experiencing in eternal reality.
De hecho, cuando tú nos has contado este pasatiempo de Krishna y las gopis en Braj acerca del impuesto, de hecho es que Gurudev cuando lo está contando no es simplemente una historia de algún libro más, sino que Gurudev está ahí y nos está diciendo qué hay en su corazón.
Prabhu, how old are you?
¿Cuántos años tienes?
I'm 30.
And what do you do? What's your skill?
I don't have any skills.
Something. You should do you give Harikatha? Do you teach Harikatha?
Sorry, ¿cómo
dice? ¿Tienes
do you
alguna
speak Harikatha to any house? You know, do you give Harikatha?
Si da usted Harikatha a alguien, algunos programas, si habla.
No, yo no doy Harikatha, yo solo lo leo y lo comparto con quienes quieren escuchar.
Yeah, he's telling that he's always reading and he always speak about that, but it's not like he felt that he's giving Harikatha, but actually he always preached to his family and friends about what he's reading.
I see a lot of potential in your ability to. I think Gurudev would be very happy if you spoke Harikatha. I don't know what the situation is in Mexico, whether you can do programs, maybe your favorite book, maybe you could give Harikatha, go through the book, some program, organize some consistent program once a week, once every 2 weeks. You have a lovely way of giving Harikatha, so develop that. It's very wonderful.
Entonces, Prabhu dice que ve mucho potencial en usted para que hable el Harikatha. Bueno, no sabe cómo es la situación aquí en México, pero si usted puede hacer arreglos para tener programas, sea una vez o 2 veces a la semana, y así usted pueda hablar este Harikatha, porque ve que tiene mucho potencial y mucha dulzura al transmitir el Harikatha que usted lee.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Prabhu. I don't have any qualification to speak to Katha. And
no, but that's okay. But your guru has qualification to give you the mercy to do so.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
So you don't need qualification. You just need to be disciple.
Yeah. Thank you.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad, Prabhu. Navita Didi. Gracias, Didi.
Haribo, Navalatka, thank you so much for arranging that and also for your wonderful translation. I always love learning Spanish. I lived in Argentina for about 6 months. I learned about 700 words in 2 months. But then as soon as I left, as soon as I left Argentina, I forgot everything. And anyhow, when I learned it, no one could understand anything I was saying anyhow, because of my accent.
Oh yeah, the Argentine accent is difficult, but the Mexican accent and Bolivian accent is very similar.
No, the problem was my accent.
I see. Okay, and
But the English and Spanish have 2,000 words that are the same, so it's not a difficult language to learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for engaging me in this seva. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, my dear. Please stay for our last speaker.
Yeah, sure.
I think Manini Didi's going to take over the emceeing, but I don't know if she's still driving though, so this may not work. And are you there, Manini?
Yes, I am.
She is. Are you back home now?
No, but I'm stationary, relatively speaking.
Would you like me? I could introduce the last speaker. And where are you?
I'm here.
Okay. You good?
All right. Oh my God, Siri keeps talking. No, I'm good.
Good to take over?
I think so. I mean, it's a bit challenging, but I can do it.
Are you sure? I can do it. I don't know what your situation there. You decide.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, and then Krishna Priya will close the kirtan out. I'm going to tell her now that the 30 minutes until kirtan. Okay, great.
All right, perfect. So is Srimati, Madan, Mohini, Didi on the Zoom? Are you here? I'm trying to see. Oh, I see she is here. Okay. Well, maybe you can ask her to unmute Yashodanandan. Meanwhile, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. So Srimati Madan Mohini Didi from Australia met devotees in 1979. And she met Srila Gurudev actually in 1996. She received Harinam and Diksha in 1997. And in terms of her seva, she has done editing with Shamarani Didi, done drama plays, and seems like she's been engaged in seva for a long time. And we're looking forward to hearing your Pushpanjali, Didi. If you can unmute yourself and turn on your camera, that would be wonderful. Haribol. But she was
Haribol.
Haribol.
I was just figuring out how to unmute, but I had to go into the settings and it cut me out of the meeting. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. So Didi, you're going to have 30 minutes for your Pushpanjali. Hi there.
Haribol.
I can cue you when you have like 5 minutes to go if you'd like. You tell me.
Yeah, I have a bit of a sore throat and I'm just getting over a cold, so maybe even if it's a little shorter, it might be okay.
Okay.
Chandramukhi had told me.
Wait, I'm sorry. What were you saying? Chandramukhi
I'm just going to get myself a drink. I'm just going to get a drink of water so I can clear my voice.
Okay. Hey, Yashodananda, you may want to have Krishna Priya come in 20 minutes just in case.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Haribol. So Didi, whenever you are ready, I'm going to turn the virtual Vyasasan over to you. And I actually need water as well. Sorry to be in trouble, guys, but it's good. Okay, Didi.
Okay.
I like the background. What's that behind you? Is that paint? Are those your paint?
It's actually it's like the covering on the glass doors.
Oh yeah, like stained glass almost. Yeah.
It's a stained glass effect that we put on these doors.
Oh, that's lovely.
I thought it'd be a nice background. I'm in the city. So
yes.
I just didn't, it's early 6 a.m. for me, 6:15.
Wow. Okay.
So I thought this would be a quiet spot.
All right, Didi. Well, the stage is yours. Haribol, thank you.
Haribol, thank you. I'll just start with a couple of beautiful prayers for Shri Gurudev. So, Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shrishma Bhaktivedanta Narayana Nityanamane Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, it's just where to begin. So we first met, my family and I first met Shri Gurudev in New Brunswick, California in 1996. Is that microphone volume okay?
Yes, it is. You sound great.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to my video actually, but
that's okay.
I'm here. All right.
So Shri Gurudev, by his own causeless mercy, came to the town where I lived with my family, a tiny village in the mountains of only a population of 300 people. And I was a teenager at the time. We had a beautiful small community, and we had, a small community temple with Gornichai. And I didn't know, because of being a teenager, but I was, later informed by my parents, the other senior devotees, that they had been calling out for support and for help after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. They had gone to the mountains, made a small community, and that they were longing for a spiritual master to come. But, I was a carefree teenager, so when Shri Gurudev came, it was a really amazing festival. I was delighted to meet everyone, and Shri Gurudev lived next door to my family, so he would come on his morning walk and walk over to our house. We would just be able to, myself and the kids, we could run out and see him, and he very quickly became like a beloved grandfather figure. And would just speak to the kids and I, ask us about the cows and the horses, and ask us the names of the animals, and he would pat the cows and tell us little stories about Krishna and the cows. It was really, really sweet. And the whole community, we were enchanted by Shri Gurudev's just amazing, he's like, how do you explain it? The magnetic attraction. It's like you're attracted without even trying to be, naturally, spontaneously attracted to his loving energy. So a huge amount of the community went to India in 1997, Kartik, and myself included with my family. And we got to go to India for the first time, and we went to Mathura, arrived there, straight from the 2 days of traveling, and went straight to Gurudev's room. And he was so happy to see us. And you could just feel that loving energy, again, that grandfatherly energy towards the kids and I. And I was just amazed because in Badger, we had more of a familial relationship, but in India, I got to see His Majesty, how so many sannyasis were coming and speaking to him and giving him so much respect and honor. And we got to see, wow, Shri Gurudev is incredible. We got to see another aspect of his glory. So we participated in Prakama, and in those days, Shri Gurudev walked with us throughout the streets of Mathura, and then we went to Vrindavan. And Gurudev led the Prakama. It was incredible. And my younger brother and the boys from New Braj, they'd try and, get up there and try and walk as fast as Gurudev and try and keep up with him. But Gurudev was so incredible, so energetic. He could lead the Prakama for hours. And then we would go to the different pastime places, and Shri Gurudev would explain Shri Krishna's pastimes, and each place was so much love. And you could just tell that he understood it clearly. I'd never met any other personality in my 17 years at that time, 18 years. I hadn't met anyone else who was as shastric and could just quote anything at any place, every pastime. He didn't read from a book, he was just spontaneous flow of nectar, and it was incredible. So we had a wonderful experience in India, and Shri Gurudev invited us to come again, and we invited him to come again to New Braj, which he mercifully did again the following year. And the community excitement was building. We built a pavilion and hosted a larger group of devotees. And my family and I, one seva that we had was to perform dramas, something we had already been doing, and that we offered our services to Shri Gurudev, and he encouraged myself and the other children to learn about the pastimes. So we would listen to Gurudev's classes and create scripts from them, and then we'd get to go to Gurudev and ask him, we're going to do this play, and if we had any question about something, he would help to give direction about how the you know, how to perform the pastime. Sometimes he would help to arrange who should be who in the play. It was just really beautiful. So we started doing the plays, and another wonderful time in 1998, Shri Gurudev came, and we also went to Los Angeles and San Francisco, attended his programs there. I have one really sweet personal memory from in San Francisco. In the early mornings, Shri Gurudev would go for his walks. And the girls and I were waiting for Shri Gurudev to come back at the Holy Redeemer that was rented in San Francisco, this beautiful old church. There were all these wildflowers. And so we were picking wildflowers, and one of my sisters crafted a garland, which was made just out of braided wildflowers. We used the stems to connect them. And so on the back side, you could see the braid, and on the front was all the wildflowers are popping out. And when she gave it to Shri Gurudev when he came, he was just amazed. And he said, oh, this is like how the gopis can string the garlands in Vrindavan. They don't need needle and thread. They have so many talents in how they use the flowers and the plants to serve Krishna. So it was just really sweet. Everything, every interaction, he would bring us to remember Radha and Krishna. And he would just kindly accept the flowers that the girls and I would give to him in the mornings. And he'd ask us, are you chanting? Are you following Ekadasi? He always had a moment for everyone to ask how they are. And everyone felt so included. And they got the speciality. I remember disciples of Srila Prabhupada saying that Srila Prabhupada made everyone feel that he loved them the best. And that was an amazing speciality of his personality. Every person felt that love and that connection. And I witnessed it over and over again with Shri Gurudev, especially after class. Shri Gurudev would just majestically make his way from the Yasasan to the door, and a line of people would just naturally form, and Shri Gurudev would go along and greet everyone. And you could see the excitement and the hope on people's faces as Gurudev was coming towards them. Will Gurudev speak to me today? Will I have an opportunity to have his loving glance? And you could just see like the emotion in devotees' faces as Shri Gurudev was coming, and then the happiness, and like when he would speak to them, and then the loving glances as he would leave. It was just incredible to see those personal interactions with Shri Gurudev. So we went to India again in 1998, and it was just amazing, amazing. Again, Shri Gurudev led the parikrama, and I really remember especially going to Govardhan and Gurudev going on the hill with us and pointing out Lord Krishna's footprints in the rocks and the stones, and Shri Gurudev explaining how the stones melted hearing Shri Krishna's flute, and that the cowherd boys and Krishna would be slipping on the rocks like slides. And we went to that one place where there is the rock slide. I forget the name. I remember seeing Gurudev encouraging Madan Maharaj and the other Naveen Krishna Prabhu at the time to go down this slide, and they were so joyful. It was incredible. All the brahmacharis and sannyasis had a turn, you know, sliding down and thinking of Shri Krishna's pastimes. It was very different to what I had seen prior, you know, in some of the temples I had been in California, where everything was very like serious, and you know, it was so a beautiful, playful part of Shri Gurudev as well, to interact with the pastime places. Yeah, I remember the following year when Shri Gurudev came to Badger.
Hey, Didi, you're muted. I think you accidentally hit mute.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
When Shri Gurudev came to New Braj the following year, my sisters and I and the other devotees, we had the opportunity to start to cook for Gurudev. And it was a really nice new way to interact by preparing something special and taking it to Naveen Prabhu to give to Gurudev. One time, my husband made these pineapple fritters. So like a ring of pineapple, you dip in the batter, fry it. And we had offered those to Shri Gurudev for his lunch. And then he had sent a couple back with the bite marks taken out of them. It was just so neat. You know, Gurudev was interacting with us again in that way. And one time my father drove Gurudev to the airport from New Braj to San Francisco. And we had a large van, and a couple of us kids got to ride along in the back. And so I got to be with Gurudev in the van, and he was chanting. It was just amazing to listen to Shri Gurudev chanting as we were driving for hours to the airport. And Naveen Prabhu was sitting next to Gurudev. And at one point he was dozing just a little. And Gurudev just turned and he whispered, it's like, "Oh, Naveen," in the sweetest voice. And Naveen woke up, kept chanting. It was just really sweet just seeing their exchanges. So another time, we went to Vancouver with Shri Gurudev to Salt Spring Island, and he gave really beautiful Harikatha. I wish I could remember all of it now, but mainly it was about Kleshagni, and I forget the other name, but about how you're developing the creeper of love.
Shubhada.
Yes, yes.
Shubhada, yes.
Yes. About how to develop love for Krishna, and how the creeper of devotion grows. It was beautiful. I need to go online and find those classes and listen to them again. I would really like to do that. Another beautiful place was in Italy one year. I'm sure Yashananda Prabhu would remember the time we were in Stresa near Milan, and we rented that. They were in that chateau with Gurudev and all the disciples. All the devotees were there, and I was assisting Shamrani Didi at that time with the editing work. So we got to go to Gurudev during the day and ask questions. Like if there was the audio was unclear, we couldn't understand what was said there, we could go to Shri Gurudev and say, "Gurudev, in the class last night you said this," and he would tell us, clarify the words. So that was a really beautiful way that Shamrani Didi engaged myself and the other devotees in the editing team to get to speak to Shri Gurudev, especially as the groups was getting so much larger. It was harder to see Gurudev, as often. So my pranams to Shamrani Didi. She's such an amazing inspiration. She's just really an amazing inspiration and loving devotee. So what was I thinking about when we were in Italy? Something interesting. Shri Gurudev was speaking about Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. So it was really amazing. For 7 days, he kept going over these beautiful teachings, Sri Sanatana Siksha, and he would have devotees stand up in class and repeat what he had said or add on to, explain in their own words what he had been saying. So we did a really spontaneous drama there based on the Sri Sanatana Siksha for Shri Gurudev. So we had an amazing ensemble cast from devotees from all around the world, and we had music, and Gurudev was really, really happy. He had, we were able to go to Shri Gurudev with we had listened to the classes, taken the notes, formulated the play over the first couple of days. And we went to Gurudev and asked him, would you like this? And he was, yes, he said, yes, you must do it. And he would tap me on the head, the really hard, solid tap. He said, yes, you must do this. So with a team of devotees, my husband was the spearhead of this one, and he helped to recruit the different devotees, and we had so much fun. And it was a really nice way that we could interact with Gurudev, as well as do what we felt was a humble seva, as far as sharing his words again with the audience. So I'd like to find those classes as well. They really stand out in my mind. So my husband and I were fortunate to meet in India, and Shri Gurudev married us in Mathura and Vrindavan. And we traveled with Shri Gurudev after we got married, followed him on his tours, and it was just amazing, again, watching Shri Gurudev's interactions with everyone around the world and watching, sorry, how he inspired everyone. And when Shri Gurudev came to New Braj, it was better than Christmas. For kids in America, Christmas is the biggest thing. But when Shri Gurudev came, it became bigger and better than Christmas. We would all anticipate his arrival. We would decorate the land and the house and clean, and every minute just thinking, oh, Gurudev's coming. What can we do? How can we serve the devotees when they come? Clearing out campsites for people to put their tents. And we had cows that we were milking. So for months before the festival, we would be milking the cows and making curd. And we had one freezer full from top to bottom of paneer from the cows on the land. And it was just such a joy to be able to share that with the devotees when they came. So I would help in the kitchens and help with the dramas. And assist. My father used to take Srila Gurudev for carriage rides, so hooking up the horses to the carriage, and Srila Gurudev is very brave, and he would go for a ride with the horses going, and all the devotees would be chanting, and Srila Gurudev would make, you know, it's not just a mundane carriage ride, but he said, imagine Krishna and Arjuna are going to fight, you know. You'd always bring us back to thinking about Krishna in our different activities. Another time, I wasn't there, but my father told me this really interesting story, that when he was in Hawaii with Srila Gurudev, they went for a boat ride to see whales. So I guess somebody's a question like, why bother with this mundane activity of going to see whales? But on the boat, Srila Gurudev told the beautiful story of Matsya and the appearance of Matsyadev, and he was saying to the devotees, imagine how wonderful and glorious the Lord was in the incarnation of Matsyadev. So that was really beautiful. Srila Gurudev again bringing a spiritual aspect to an everyday activity. What else can I add? Had some beautiful visits in England, and Srila Gurudev charmed everyone. It was incredibly, his glance, his loving glance, his beautiful blue eyes just captured the hearts of everyone. And I remember in England, again, I was with Shamarani Didi, and Ashram Maharaj was there, and we continued to do the editing work, sending out the classes. And it was so exciting at the time. We tried to have every class done the next day so that devotees around the world could keep up to date with Srila Gurudev's classes. And so every night we would try to finish after class. We'd be listening, and in the early morning we'd be listening to Gurudev's class, typing it out and giving it to Shamarani Didi to finish. And then she would send it on the Harikatha mailing list. So it was really exciting for me to be part of that team. And we continued to India in the early 2000s. We continued on the parikramas. And, you know, some of the times Gurudev wasn't always going out with us, but it would be so wonderful. In the morning, he would come into the temple. We would sing the Damodarastakam, and then he would send us off to parikrama, and he would, you know, be there when we got back, just ready and excited to tell more Harikatha. I remember one time we were walking along, and like some of us, we got thorns in our feet. Shrila just laughing, saying, oh, don't worry, take them out. He's telling how the gopis would be in their homes while Krishna was cow herding, and they'd be very anxious about Krishna's soft lotus feet being pricked with the thorns. And they would pray that Krishna wouldn't be injured by the thorns on his feet. So, yeah, in India, we really, it was just magical being with Srila Gurudev in India. It was, and I especially think, you know, going into the temples, going into Radha Damodar with Srila Gurudev, going to Srila Prabhupada's rooms, that was very emotional. It was really, yeah, a really great experience to be able to go there, and hearing Srila Gurudev's descriptions of his pastimes with Srila Prabhupada was just so wonderful. And it really helped to show this sweet, loving relationship between Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. It helped me to be strong in my life when I would come across opposition, and people would say things like, you know, against Srila Gurudev or about their relationship. I had my own personal experience. I had been in the Radha Damodar temple with Srila Gurudev, hearing his pastimes and about how their loving relationship. So it helped me that if I came across devotees who would question their relationship or say things negative about Gurudev and Prabhupada, I could very easily and simply and humbly state the facts that I knew, that they had known each other for so many years, and they had been in Radha Damodar temple together. As Gurudev said, they would sit together and he would roll the chapatis, and Srila Prabhupada would be cooking the chapatis, and they would just sit on Gurudev's chatter. Gurudev said Srila Prabhupada had so few things when he was in the temple there that Gurudev would put his own chatter on the floor for them to sit down on as they're making chapatis together. So it just, Gurudev was so glorious and magnificent, but so simple at the same time, that he didn't need, fancy accommodation and fancy. I mean, of course, Gurudev, everywhere Gurudev went, the devotees would honor him so nicely and give him so many things, but he expressed that he didn't need that. That wasn't the goal. He said, I've come here for your hearts. I've just come here for your hearts. I'm going to keep your hearts in my pocket. When we would give him flowers in the mornings and the evenings, Gurudev would say, I'm not collecting the flowers, I'm collecting your hearts, and I'm keeping them in my pocket. That's, I think I'm losing my voice a little bit here. Just gonna take a sip of water.
Yeah, you're doing great, Didi, though. Thank you. Oops.
Thank you for having me. Is it all right if I sign off? Yes. Is there someone else ready, or I can speak for a few minutes if somebody else isn't quite ready yet?
I don't know. Well, Krishna Priya is here, but you really have done such a wonderful job of not only just sharing glorious memories, but taking us around the world with you. I felt like, here you are in Australia, and you took us to Italy, and then you took us to India. And, my day was actually Srila Madhav Maharaj. And so to hear what you were sharing about him as well was really touching. And I actually could really relate because, I have my own direct experiences with my Gurudev, but now he's been in Mathura for the whole pandemic pretty much. And to see, like you said, the majesty of our Gurudevs is really quite something. Like I happened to see, my Gurudev was traveling in West Bengal, and like thousands of people. I mean, I was like, imagine Srila Narayan Maharaj when like my Gurudev has these like thousands of people falling at his feet. And it's quite astonishing, especially for those of us in the West, who aren't familiar with this kind of spirituality, ultra familiar with it, and we come to it. But I really enjoy hearing your memories, and especially as you also glorify Srila Prabhupada as well, and the beautiful relationship between Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. So if you would like to speak for a little bit more, Didi, you're welcome to, but if your voice feels really compromised, either way, it's fine. So we'd like to invite you to share maybe at least one more glorious story. You had so much beautiful association, especially with her great Shamarani Didi too, who I also feel especially close to, as she was the first one to give me my name. So
wow.
Yeah, wow. And to engage me in seva at all. She had me,
wow.
So it's really lovely to hear from those who've had such long association with our Guru Varga and these elevated Vaishnavas. So I do.
Shamarani Didi would sleep I would give my bedroom every year to Shamarani Didi. So she would stay at my parents' house, and we had a big deck at the back of the house. So my sisters and I were really happy to camp out on the deck under the stars, and we would decorate our room, clean the room for Shamarani Didi. And so she would sleep in my room and set up her editing team in there every year for about, I don't know, she's still coming since 1997 or so. Wow. Until now. She still comes, and now sometimes she spends a month with my parents, and she does her art, and she's looking after her health. And yes, I remember becoming almost motherly towards her at some points, trying to help her with her health, even though she's so senior, because I was with her for so long and had that relationship. I'd be like trying to research healthy things for her and trying to get her to stop working and eat and take prasadam, honor prasad, I should say. And she eventually would actually sit and digest for 15 minutes without working after having prasadam. And that was a really good step because, as we were finding out from different doctors, if you're not digesting and you're going straight back to work, it's not good for your body. So encouraging her to go and sit in the sunshine and take your, sunshine and your digestion. And I was really, concerned for her health. And I was so in awe of her because of her stories of being with Srila Prabhupada from 1965 when she was 19 years old. And it was amazing to hear her stories, how she met Srila Prabhupada. Ever since I was really young, I just was so attracted to hearing stories of how people had met Srila Prabhupada, their first impressions and their first experiences. And I was really lucky in New Brunswick, California, that there are many elderly Prabhupada disciples, and at Srila Prabhupada's appearance day and disappearance day each year, they would share different stories. And one devotee I remember, Madhusudan, he was only 17 in New York when he met Srila Gurudev, and he had pimples. And Srila Prabhupada had made a paste for him to put it on, because Srila Prabhupada had, that experience. And so he had made him this kind of white paste. I mean, first he told Madhusudan to put tilak on it. He said that will dry it out and it'll be really good. But then the next day, Madhusudan wasn't wearing the tilak all over his face. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Why aren't you wearing the tilak?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed." So Srila Prabhupada made him a special cream that he could rub on that would absorb in the skin. And it was amazing to hear how Srila Prabhupada was like a loving father to these teenagers who were disillusioned with, the world back in the 60s in New York. So I craved it. I just loved it. I loved, for some reason, hearing about people's first experiences with Srila Prabhupada. And we would sometimes go to really big festivals in LA where there'd be hundreds of Prabhupada disciples, and all day long they'd be speaking about their experiences, and it just helped make it real. I guess I was craving and waiting for the time that I would get to meet someone like that. I mean, I already felt, as growing up as a devotee, in a devotee family, I felt connected to Krishna and the movement, and I felt like Srila Prabhupada was real, like he was, and he is, but I really felt like you could connect with him through listening to him and reading from him. And I didn't know what I was missing until I knew it. Once you met Srila Gurudev, you're like, wow, I didn't know that I was missing this, but now that I know, I'm just so happy and grateful. Once you have that personal connection with Srila Gurudev. And Naveen Prabhu, I can tell you a couple more stories about Srila Madan Maharaj. So he taught us how to make Gurudev's special parathas. And also Pundarik Prabhu was there. So it's a really beautiful dish. It's like a chapati dough, and then you make the filling and you roll it out and you put it inside. So he taught us how Gurudev likes it, how to roll them and put it together. And he was, always smiling and always making a joke. He was so incredibly good. He is, I'm sure, so I just haven't seen him for a long time. He's so good at numbers. And here in Australia, there's a really nice doctor, Dr. T, Amal Krishna Prabhu. He was meant to be speaking this morning, but he's feeling unwell, so I've taken the spot. But at Dr. T's house, oops, sorry. Just mute that for a sec. There's a car going past, sorry. Dr. T lives at 801. His house address is 801. So on the first time that Srila Gurudev and Madan Maharaj came to Dr. T's house, and they were, Dr. T was welcoming them, and then Madan Maharaj said, he was speaking, and he was so quick, like in a moment, he had all these different reasons why 801 was interesting, and I can't remember the whole thing, but he was so sharp, and it was amazing and clever and witty the way he was explaining 801 is this, and it's 108, and it means this gopis, and it means these demigods, and in a beautiful way, he was like congratulating Dr. T on his address. He was always making jokes. Madhav Maharaj was, when my son Madhav was about 2, 1.5 or 2, maybe, we went into Srila Gurudev's room for a darshan, and little Madhav, he just walked straight up to Gurudev, and he started talking to him in his baby language, and he was leaning his elbow on Gurudev's knee and just talking to him, and Gurudev said, "Do you want to come with me to Vrindavan?" And Madhav goes, "In the room?" And everyone was just laughing, and Madhav Maharaj was just laughing, and then Madhav Maharaj gave him some candy, and he says, "You are Madhav, and I am also Madhav, so we're friends, and here's some candies," and just so loving. Every interaction I saw was just really amazing. And of course, he had his very serious side too. When Srila Gurudev would ask him to speak on any deep siddhanta, he could just stand up and eloquently, tell whatever pastime Srila Gurudev wanted, or siddhanta and the slokas. You could see that he was a Sanskrit scholar, as he went to university for. And so I got to see both his loving, playful side, his serious siddhanta side, and his unending service to Srila Gurudev everywhere, managing everything, the luggage, the cars, the laundry, the cooking for Srila Gurudev's health. And, even he had to do that the difficult job at the end of protecting Gurudev from having too many visitors. So Madhav Maharaj is like the gatekeeper. You have to find a way to get through Madhav Maharaj. But that was his seva as well, to give Srila Gurudev his rest time as well, when he had so many people eager for his association. I think that covers it. Shamarani Didi again, we traveled with her and stayed with her in Australia and England and India. And she lives her life. You could just see her life is a perfect example of strictly following her Gurudevs, Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. And her life is an example. You don't have to say much more than that. Just the way she lives her life is a perfect example, something to aspire to. And I was with her when she was repainting the Seva Kunj picture from the in Rup Sanatan. So I got to watch her working, and she explained how Srila Gurudev had helped her with the details and even shown her like how the gopis should be standing, what they should be holding. Just incredible, incredible. Gurudev said, she's painted my heart. She's painted my heart with that picture. So,
Didi.
Yes, Haribol, Dandavad Pranams. Yes.
So nice to see you. I didn't know it was you. and then I saw you and I was like, oh, because the last time I remember you, I remember your family so well, your mother and your father. I'm in touch with your brother a lot, Rasik. He's doing so well. You've got about 1,000 sisters.
Yes.
I don't know where they are all in the world, but I'm sure they're doing well. And I remember you very well getting married in Mathura. I was there.
Wonderful, thank you.
I remember. I remember it was an Australian, and wasn't he something to do with the Air Force or something? Or did I get that wrong?
No, but I think you're thinking of Sachinandan. I think you're thinking of Sachinandan and Janavi, my friend, my good friend.
Oh, Janavi and Sachinandan. Okay. Because did you get married at a similar time?
Yes, just about at the same time. Yes.
I remember both couples. Yeah. There was a big energy about that. Wonderful.
Yes, wonderful. That was the year for the marriages.
and I remember. Was that 98? Was it?
Pardon?
Was that 1998?
Yes. And
I remember your horses. Yeah, beautiful.
Yes, I remember you very well too, Dandavad.
Nice to see you're prospering and your bhakti is strong.
I just go inside for the last 2 minutes. This might be a little loud. Just pop inside. Yeah, Mukunda Prabhu. Do you remember Mukunda Prabhu?
Yeah, sure.
And Premavati.
Yeah,
so, yes, Mukunda Prabhu is my father-in-law. And
wow, okay,
yes. So I'm just getting ready for work this morning. So
where in Australia are you?
In the Gold Coast.
Okay, okay, great. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much for
so nice to see you. So
you too.
Were you in I think you were in the room in the Darshan and Srila Gurudev's room in Mathura after Kartik. It was 1998. It was November 9th, 1998, and you were there in the room. And my father had taken myself and my husband to be into the room to ask Srila Gurudev for us to get engaged. And Srila Gurudev just spontaneously took the garlands off his neck and handed them to us and had us exchange garlands and said, now you're married, and just very sweet and spontaneous.
Beautiful.
And then, but then we, the following year, so I lived with my family for one more year, and Didi was traveling with Srila Gurudev. And then in 1999, we had a fire yagya at the end of Kartik.
It's a very beautiful family. I'm so
thank you.
Very beautiful.
Thank you for organizing this. I've been meaning to come on for a few months, but Chandramukhi's helped me come on today. So it's my great fortune, my honor to associate with you briefly. And but always thinking of everyone and wishing everyone well.
Are you near Dr. T, by the way?
Yes, just half an hour or
Give him my love. Minutes. I mean, I love Dr. T. He's just a darling.
I will. Yeah, he was just in hospital the other day, and my husband went and visited him, took him some prasadam, and we're going to go and see him and look after him, see how he's doing.
The hospital, it's to the benefit of the hospital. That's all I can say.
Yes. It made it a holy tirtha.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Didi, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing the additional stories about Shamrani Didi and my Gurudev. I mean, it really, really touches my heart, and I really appreciated that. And I'm sure a lot of other devotees too. And, you know, they both give such a great example of, like you said, tireless seva 24/7. And Janardhan posted in the chat how my Gurudev served 24/7 for over 30 years. And it is something to aspire to for all of us, you know. And I really enjoyed hearing your Pushpanjali. It was quite beautiful and delightful. And blessed to have your association as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yashodanandan, for engaging me in seva. once again, somehow by the seat of my pants.
Kartik month, you're going to be drenched in seva, Manini. Drenched in it.
Yeah, I clearly need it.
I'm gonna sign off. Love to you all. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you, Mohini Didi. And Krishna Priya Didi, are you ready for the closing kirtan? There you are.
Yes, Didi.
Haribol. It's so good
Krishna.
to see you as well. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Dandavat. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you for your encouragement. I actually have started studying with Radhika since
perfect.
So I appreciate
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
She's very good, but very
strict.
Yeah. I need to practice a lot more, but thank you so much. And
it'll help you in the long run.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like I'm on Dharma school actually right now.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I like that name. Maybe that should be the name of her school.
I know, right? Should be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what would you like to sing at your closing kirtan?
I wanted to do Jaya Jaya Shri Guru on page 29. Okay. If that's all right.
Yes.
All right. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Vanaiti Namane Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpai Taru Adbhuta Jago Parakash Adbhuta Jago Parakash Hiya Gayana Dimira Varagyana Suchandra Kirane Karunash Suchandra Kirane Karunash Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpai Taru Adbhuta Jago Parakash Adbhuta Jago Parakash Ihalochan Anandhadham Ajatita Mohino Patita Hiricho Pahu Jai Chidayala Harinam Jai Chidayala Harinam Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpai Taru Adbhuta Jago Parakash Duramati Agati Satata Satimati Nahi Sukriti Lavaleshan Nahi Sukriti Lavaleshan O Shri Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru Adbhuta Jagopadakash Niramara Gaura Prema Rasa Sinchani Purana Jagajana So charanam bhuje ratina hi hoyana rayata vaishnavadas rayata vaishnavadas Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru Adbhuta Jagopadakash Adbhuta Jagopadakash Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Wow. Wow, that's so beautiful. So beautiful and so moving. And I've never heard that kirtan before. Thank you so much for
It's
offering
so
that.
beautiful.
It is. I was looking at the words. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I was doing the word for word translation of Bengali, and my favorite line, Iha Lochan Anandadham, his eyes are the abode of bliss. It's just so true.
Didi, can you read the whole thing in English?
Yeah,
Sure.
I was just gonna say, please.
Okay. All glories to Sri Guru, the desire tree of praying, whose manifestation is most astonishing. With effulgent moonbeams of knowledge, he destroys the vast darkness of ignorance in the heart. His eyes are the abode of bliss. Seeing a person as fallen as me, this personality voluntarily gave me Harinam, even without me asking. I am wicked and helpless, and my mind is constantly absorbed in mundane matters. I do not possess even 1 iota of devotional merit, yet he still instructs me about Sri Vrindavan and the treasure of bhajan of the divine couple. Showering the world with the pure nectar of Gauda Prem, Sri Guru fulfills everyone's hopes, having not developed rati for his lotus feet, this Vaishnava Das weeps.
Yeah. And this Vaishnavi weeps too.
Yeah, that's right. I know. Sometimes I'll add in Krishna Priya, Royata Krishna Priya Dasi at the end.
Yes.
Make it personal.
That's right. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for this amazing program.
Beautiful. Hey, Krishna Priya, we're pretty close to finalizing the Kartik schedule, so we'll be able to I mean, basically what you said you could do, we'll probably be able to accommodate all of that.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's going to be very special because I can see you're refining your devotion through your kirtan, so it's wonderful.
It's all my Gurudev's
And I've
mercy.
just sent you a very sweet message, so please read it.
Yeah.
I'll check it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Prabhu.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
engaging me.
Yeah,
Really
my
appreciate
pleasure. Manini, thank you for emceeing at the end. Thank you to all the devotees for attending such a sweet program. I always love it when the Mexicans and South Americans come on. They've got a very special, well, actually, I was honoring your guru earlier, actually, Didi, because there was a mother and son on, and the mother had taken Harinam from my Gurudev and Diksha from your Gurudev.
Wow.
And the son also took a lot of shelter from your Gurudev. And the mother spoke a very, very short time, but very sweet, very emotional. And I couldn't resist but to glorify your Gurudev. And I said to her, please try and glorify Bon Maharaj, because by glorifying Bon Maharaj, you're glorifying Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj anyhow, because one is the fruit of the other. So anyway, it was a beautiful program and a wonderful finish. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, I better stop live streaming. Whoa, it's working. Fantastic.
It's amazing.